I've been thinking a lot about going into elementary school education.
To get a new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/goodchildren.
That's mintmobile.com/goodchildren. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/goodchildren.
You look just like Josh Hutcherson to me.
I think people have always told me that I look exactly like Josh Hutcherson. But it's weird because I've always wanted the Josh Hutcherson.
Can you say his name one more time?
Josh Hutcherson?
Okay.
Hutcher, right? With the sun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it again?
Josh Hutcherson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would Josh Hutcher daddy.
I would Hutcher that son
Yeah.
in such a fucked up way, especially when I was a kid.
When I was a kid, I would have done anything for Josh. I could have called him, is it Jimmy? No, that's John.
No, yeah, that's James.
It's just James.
James to John to Jimmy.
Yeah, Josh is just
your
Josh.
name is James, you get fucking 18 names.
It's like enough is enough.
Josh, you get Joshua, you also get Schwa.
Schwa?
Yeah.
You know a Schwa?
I don't know a Schwa, but I'm sure there's a Schwa out there.
Wait, but he had me feeling like that's Schwa.
I was schwaing like I've never schwad before for Joshua. Like dating back from Little Manhattan into Bridge to Terabithia.
I will never forget sitting next to my 5th grade teacher, Miss Seppi.
Yeah.
Sobbing. Watching Josh Hutcherson on that screen being like,
he was my first crush.
He was kind of my first crush.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I was in love with Josh Hutcherson.
Perfect face. Perfect face.
Perfect face. Square jaw.
It was
Take
like
that jaw to the filler doctor.
Holy
That's
shit.
my vibe. Yeah.
I'd say chisel me down, sir.
But he's one of those people where his jaw has continued to expand. It's getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, I don't know what he looks like currently.
He's
right
still
now.
very handsome. Very handsome.
It's weird that like I guess like the only idea of Josh Hutcherson that I have is like, again, he's older than me, so like it's fine to have been like at that time in life looking at him being like, oh, he's really cute.
Yeah, that's completely normal.
Okay,
I think what's only weird is what you just like how you brought it up again.
It was like weird. It's weird that I brought it up again
because it just like implies like weirdness.
Like that I was like still thinking about that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want people to think like that.
I don't think anyone was thinking like that.
Okay. But I don't know what he looks like now, so that's the problem.
Yeah. As a kid, I was in love with him.
Yeah.
In love.
Well, yeah. No, nothing. There was nothing wrong with him. Was he the one that was in the way back?
No.
Who was that boy?
That was some other boy. I don't really know what he did after that. You think that he was in the way back with Anna Sophia? You think him and ASR collabed twice and the world didn't stop spinning?
Well, because there was two. I mean, Bridge to Terabithia was like which side? At that point, I was like, I'm bi.
Yeah, because I was in love with ASR as well.
Yeah,
but I definitely was bi for Bridge to Terabithia. I would say I was gay at Hunger Games for certain, although I did have a crush on Jennifer Lawrence, but that's kind of like...
Did you have a crush on Jennifer Lawrence, like appearance or like her overall vibe?
Well, her vibe, of course. Of course, her vibe. But I do think, like, I remember being like, she's categorically a bombshell. Like, I was like 14. I was like, you can't deny it. Like,
she's
gorgeous. She is gorgeous, amazing face, amazing body, amazing personality. Like, she's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10s across the board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was me finding out she was cast as Katniss.
Yeah.
Big day for me. The first Entertainment Weekly spread dropped of the promotional images, and I was gagged.
Yeah.
Gagged.
Were you like gagged in a way that it was like, I cannot wait for this movie, or was it gagged in a way that it was like, this is going to change my life?
Both of those things could be true.
Because it did.
Yes, it changed my life, and I remember cutting out the picture of her in Entertainment Weekly, and I glued it to my planner for March 23rd, 2012. To say, like, this is the day.
This is the day.
Yeah.
I think that, like, The Hunger Games was, honestly, at the time, I only watched The Hunger Games, or only read The Hunger Games because of you.
Yeah.
Which was like, thank you.
Because of you, I read Catching Fire and Mockingjay.
I read Catching Fire, 7th grade, lacrosse camp. Everyone was like doing their thing and drinking, and I was on the top bunk and I couldn't put it down.
They were drinking in 7th grade lacrosse camp?
No, I made that part up.
Oh.
They absolutely were not drinking. I feel like probably in my delusional head, I was like, what they were doing was equivalent to what I would think drinking was.
Yeah.
But the thing with Catching Fire, and I every single chapter would close it to be like, someone's dead.
Something gaggy happens every chapter.
And I haven't read a book like that in a long
No.
time. And I haven't probably read a book since.
Yeah, that was probably the end of it for you.
That was really it for me. Were you a Liam Hemsworth?
You know, I honestly think like what happened was like I was a Hutcherhead for so I was a Hutcherson for so long, and then I was Googling Liam Hemsworth underwear because there was a show he was in like in Australia, and he was wearing like tighty whities in it.
No.
And I was Googling that image so much in high school.
I'm sure my top search history for a while was probably Josh Hutcherson nudes, which was a problem. I've been doing that since I was in high school.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, that was me with Liam. Like Liam especially, I was so fixated on Liam to the point where I was Team Gale my whole life, and I think that's categorically the wrong side of history, but I couldn't not be.
But that's weird because it's like you were doing PETA drag.
Yeah, but I love it. I love an Australian boy.
You do love an Australian boy.
It comes back to Australia in so many ways.
Me as well. I love an Australian boy. So for the Australians that are listening.
I think I'm going to have to, like, and this is going to actually twist the knife even deeper for you.
No,
like,
don't say it.
I just think I'm going to have to, like, plan some form of a meetup. Like, I just think it'd be crazy to be across the world. I really regret not meeting anyone when I was there last time. And they're not going to be happy that it's just me, but I'm just feel like, you know what I mean?
Like there's opportunity for me.
To come to my boyfriend's family for the holidays.
It's not even the holidays, Joe. It's like post it. It's like I can't go to the continent of Australia because Ross lives there.
That's not remotely true. You could go. Nothing is stopping you.
You guys wouldn't even hang out with me if I was there.
Well, I would. It would be a little weird because I could hang out with you in Brooklyn any day I want, and I'm across the world. But sure, I would love to hang out with you in Australia.
I would love to go. I wish like money was no object.
I know. I also wish because it's rough.
Good children.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Good Children, the podcast where hosts Joe Hegyes
and Andrew Muscarella reflect on their 24 years of friendship,
growing up in the late 2000s,
early 2010s,
and all of the nostalgia,
trauma,
and hangovers that go along with it. It's weird to think that like in our 2.5 years we never did this costume.
Not a lot of things with our childhood were very similar besides this, but you were like very into it. I mean, I read all of them, and that's shocking.
That is shocking.
Harry Potter could never for me.
No. Yeah, Hunger Games was a cultural reset. It really was in a big way. And today we're dressed as Katniss and Peeta, and today we are celebrating for the 18th time this October Halloween. We thought we were done with this shit last week. Gotta be honest with you guys. We took down the whole set.
We took down the whole set to a point where it's like, now you're just thinking, why is he dressed like Ellen? And right, because I kind of look like Ellen DeGeneres.
You're giving Ellen a little bit in the face.
I give Ellen in the face?
Yeah.
What does my body give?
Ellen.
You're right. Anyways, we thought we were done with Halloween, and what's even funnier is that last week's episode was about Halloween, and I think the week before that we said we'll never talk about Halloween again because what else is there to say? And you guessed it, we're talking about Halloween again.
But this time it's different because I think we're gonna try to like make it different. So that's exciting. And oh wait, there's a second reason why it's different, and it's sitting right next to us. Uh-oh. 2 shots of vodka. So today we are holding in our hands 2 gorgeous plastic shot glasses. Andrew's is filled to the brim with vodka. Mine's filled just to the natural edge.
I don't like taking shots of vodka. I don't understand when people do shots of vodka. It's like,
We
what do you
didn't have
guys
any
want to
tequila
suck
in the
down a
house.
potato sack?
We only had vodka in the house, I'm sorry to say.
Tequila is like, at this point, it's like, yeah, you might as well just, I don't even need a chaser at that point. I don't even need a lime.
Vodka does FMU in a big way, like, and not in a fun way.
No, it fucks me up, and it's like, it's not in a way that like I'm bottoming for it. You know what I mean? Because like,
I don't know anything you ever say. I don't know anything you ever say.
Yeah, because I never really make sense, but like,
but
it
makes sense.
Does make sense.
When it comes out of your mouth, it makes sense.
It's almost too quick to make sense.
Because you're just rushing to say something. Yeah, I understand. I've been there many times.
But like, yes, to the point, vodka does fuck me up, but it also like, it doesn't taste good. It's the one that's like, I guess because it's the most integral to my collegiate years.
Yeah.
And I don't have a sourdough pretzel.
But the good news is we do have... Okay, you guys. So let's talk about Ora Bora for a second. This is not an ad. This is not sponsored. A few months ago now, we had a DM on Patreon from Brenna who said... And she didn't know she was changing our lives with this message. She didn't know she would change the lives of 3 gay men in Brooklyn with this message.
No.
She said, would you guys like me to send you some Ora Bora? I work for Ora Bora. It's an herbal sparkling water company. The Ora Bora deliveries.
The Aurora Borealis in this apartment.
You could see the Aurora Borealis nightly.
Yeah.
Nightly. It's full visibility every night here.
Yes.
We have been drinking these incessantly, and they have been coming incessantly.
And
they are delivered I would say once every 2 to 3 weeks. There's another 50 Ora Boras being delivered, and it's sustaining life.
I could talk about Ora Bora for the entire episode, but I'm going to choose not to. But the thing is, I haven't seen many companies, I haven't seen many drinks, I haven't seen many like establishments, period, innovating the way that Ora Bora is constantly innovating. Their test kitchen, like Chipotle could never.
No,
like,
I need to go to the Ora Bora test kitchen.
I have to go to the Ora Bora test kitchen because I think that we can create a flavor because they're putting black pepper in
I'm not even kidding. I was actually like drinking the Martini Grazza collab recently, and I was thinking, I wonder what the test kitchen was like I wonder what the process was like, how many versions of how much olive oil they were putting in to like get the perfect, like I would love to know.
And they got sweet and savories.
They got sweet and savory, and today we're drinking their pumpkin spice Ora Bora. Perfect time for like a perfect November sip here. Again, I want to be so clear, we're not being paid. And I mean, in a way, we've been gifted so much that it feels almost like a fair barter at this point. But it's have you had the pumpkin spice one yet?
Not.
It's pumpkin spicy.
I smell it.
You opened it already?
Yeah. My finger went right into it. And sometimes when your finger goes in a can like that,
it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. It's like, how did my finger get in there and not get sliced?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start off this episode with a little bit of a shot and then chase it with the Oris.
Okay. See, the thing with me in a shot is like, I'm going to take a sip first of the Ori Bori.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take
You sandwich it?
Yeah, I sandwich. My life is a sandwich.
And you just TiVo.
My life is a sandwich and I'm just the lettuce.
Mommy got it switching like a dreadlock. I usually don't myself, but I got it in a headlock. Dabba dabba do, make it bedrock. Just on fire. Woo! Red hot. Bada bing, bada boom. Mr. Worldwide, when I step in the room, I'm a hustler, baby. But that you knew. And tonight it's just me and you. Yeah. It's almost like drinking a PSL.
It tastes kind of like, to me, kind of like Coke.
Oh, wow. I can't wait. Okay. I'm going to do my shot.
The whole thing?
No, half of it. Oh, Andrew, you and I have not done this in a very long time on camera, or in general.
It's like, I can't do this shit.
Oh my God.
I can't drink anymore. I'm going to tell you that.
I feel like you've been drinking a lot lately.
You don't believe that my face is looking different lately?
Well, you shaved your face and you would look different when you shaved your face, but I don't think your face looks different.
And be honest. I need you to be honest with me in this moment, and I think that people lie to me all the time, and I just need you to not lie to me for a second. When I shave my face, does it look good?
I like it.
You're being serious?
I like a shaved face. I never used to, but I've actually really grown to find a shaved face very attractive. I do think you do have a good face for facial hair. I do think that when you grow out your beard, it looks good as well. But I don't think your shaved face looks bad at all, by any means.
I think it makes me look really very, very young.
Which is not a bad thing.
But it's weird because it's like other people who are our age who are shaving their faces, they don't look like that.
I don't look like a young child.
No, I mean, you have a mustache still. So, like, it's like you do kind of look prepubescent. Pre-pubes. Is that why it's called prepubescent?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable doing this and having to hold my tongue.
And some
puberty, pre-puberty,
puberty,
not pubes, not pubic hair.
Someone recently commented on because Joe decided to sign out for a second for the socials. I hope it's for a second and not forever.
It's forever.
Like, okay.
I actually told you I'm never logging back in.
I hope it's for a second and not forever. But I'm on the socials now. Someone recently commented like I cannot even fathom listening to these two speak. I got dumber listening to them. And I honestly sometimes like, yes, for sure.
That's the point.
I heard prepubescent and I said prepubes.
Yes.
But that's just being normal.
I can't think about those bitches that are commenting shit. Fuck you, you fucking loser. You were dumb to begin with. Let me tell you that.
I was gonna comment that, and then I was like, I know what?
That's why I'm happier you're in charge. Because you don't go.
I don't go.
When they go low, you go high.
Yes.
When they go low, I get a gun out. So it's different.
Yeah. When they go low, you create a video about it.
I do.
And for me, I'm like, it's not worth it. I want to just be ignorant to it. Anyways, this drink is phenomenal.
Wait, I want to try it without the. I've never had it before, but without the. I get what you were saying about the cokiness.
It's like cokey.
But if you think about pumpkin,
I mean, it tastes just like a pumpkin too.
But I get the cokey.
I'll tell you why you take it. I get why you get Coke, because Coke is it's cinnamon.
It's cinnamon.
And cinnamon vanilla, and I don't think a lot of people know that.
Mm-hmm. I'm always doing research on what Coke is.
Because it's like, why do I want it always? Why do I want it so bad?
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a float? Be so serious.
Don't even get me started on. What do you mean, like an ice cream float?
Yeah.
Like
be serious.
Okay, I got to think about this. I had one this past September. I had a Dole Whip with orange soda float.
Yeah, you did without me.
Well, you weren't there. I was in Florida.
It just like seems to be the running trend.
I'm going away with you next weekend.
Barely.
What does that mean?
I guess we're changing state lines.
A vacation can mean anything. This is vacation to me. Just doing this with you is such a pleasure that I feel like I'm on vacation every single time I sit down and record this podcast with you.
You feel like you're relaxing?
Yeah, I feel really relaxed after that shot. And transparently, we had several shots earlier because we were doing a video, show the shot or take the shot video.
For page 6.
And I took many shots.
Yeah, that was kind of wild to do on like a Monday at 12.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do stuff like that. That's called work.
That's called work. That is called work. And we have to show up and you have to show out.
And people don't want to work these days.
People don't want to work these days. And people,
we show up.
We show up and they say alcohol and we say, yeah, we're there. But I have been toying around with the idea of sobriety.
Okay, so let's get into this actually. So this episode is going to be about, when the
Post-Party
Party's
Blues.
Over by Billie Eilish. It's about when you have that big night out. This episode comes out on Halloween, right? Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So
the day before. Halloween's on a Thursday this year.
Oh, I want to say something else before we get into it. Next week is election day. What I'm saying to you is please, 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 please do not be the reason Donald Trump is in office in 2025. Do not. You know my political beliefs. If you follow me on Instagram, you know even deeper into my political beliefs. I can recognize the flaws with both of these candidates. I can see a lot more flaws with Donald Trump than I could ever possibly see with Kamala. And I have friends who are undocumented, who are DACA recipients, who cannot vote, and whose citizenship in this country is at stake should Donald Trump win the election. I am voting for those people who don't have a say. I'm voting for trans youth who are at risk of their rights being pulled back. That's my priority right now.
And let's bring back humility and grace. You know what I mean? Let's bring it back to the White House. Let's bring back somebody who I actually, if I was to meet her in real life, feel like I can have a genuine conversation with, on top of Joe's reasonings why we're voting for Kamala. I literally, we're a political podcast. We're taking pivots.
So anyways. So Halloween is such a fun time of year. It's so much fun, especially in election years. And you're going to go out, you're going to party this weekend.
Yeah.
You may have already partied last weekend. We certainly did.
You might be hosting a party.
Yeah, we certainly did. And that's a lot of excitement. That's a lot of buildup. That's a lot of hype. That's a lot of
money.
Yeah. And it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And you know what else is a lot of money? Buying costumes for this podcast. We don't have to get into it.
We don't have to get into it, but this is the thing. When you are planning a Halloween party, sometimes people don't tell you. It's going to be a lot of money. And I'll tell you why it's going to be a lot of money. Because people are showing up. People are showing up. And if what we said before about the Roman Catholic Church, if they're not showing up with their Eucharist, with their bread, with their blood of Christ, people aren't going to show up in the door. When you show up for people that show up for you, you got to do that. I'm making mummies. I'm making hot dog mummies.
Are you making fruit roll-up marshmallow mummies for Patty?
I was thinking about that, but Joe, do you think that's pathetic? Be serious.
What if you did one, instead of doing the 3-stacker, one, and put little eyes or minis?
Like a little, like chody chodes?
Yeah, like a chode mummy.
like a thick baby baddie.
Yeah, a thick baby baddie mummy.
I can do those. They're really easy to make, and they're always like a hit.
They're always a hit, especially if they're in pop-em format. You know what I mean?
Okay, so like, okay, I wonder if like it would also work with the smallies. Too small?
Oh, I think that's almost too small.
Yeah, because like how big could the pretzel be?
Yeah, and how big could the fruit roll-up be at that point?
I know I'd have to really go through this very small. Yeah, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Joe's on the decorations committee. It's always committees. There's committees.
It's committees.
Can't imagine throwing a party by yourself for Halloween. Can you imagine?
I can't. I really can't. And that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hype, a lot of build-up, and then it's party time, and you want to let loose. I would love to be as loose as possible. I would be loosened up on a Halloween.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
Holy shit.
Imagine being loosened up.
Imagine taking a ride on a broomstick for Halloween. Holy shit. I would go on a few magic carpet rides on Halloween.
So basically, what I'm trying to get to here, and this is before we got into politics, is it's always fun until the next day. And this started because Andrew said he wants to consider sobriety. And I think maybe first we talk about the W word, which we talked about not that long ago on this podcast, weed. And I think that Andrew has some stuff to talk about with weed, and I think that I do too. Although I may have been inflammatory on Patreon recently, so maybe I'll hold my tongue. And we'll talk about weed.
So first off, I want to talk about the...
You almost look like butter.
Butter? Why are we taking the butter from us in Sweden? Is that where he's from?
I think it's Sweden.
I think it's Sweden. The butter crisis. That...
He impacted me, Tommy.
Tommy Life?
Tommy Life, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, girl, put
your lip gloss on, your lip gloss on, your lip gloss on.
Yeah, I do look like that. And I actually, like, just like one more thing before I talk about Mary Jane is...
Mary Jane Holland.
I really love this color on me. And I love this cut. Like, I really think, like...
The cut's almost Garrett.
It's giving Garrett. I know. But I think I just haven't really seen myself, like... I love a straight hair sometimes.
Oh, you're going to start straightening your hair?
Yeah. Well, my head's too small to do anything else. So, back to marijuana. Back to weed. I just want to let everybody know that I have taken an oath, some could say. I know that I shouldn't use the O word during the presidential season, but I know, I'm sorry. I've taken an oath. I've taken a vow. I've downloaded a sobriety app, and I no longer smoke weed. It wasn't to a point where it was like happening from the moment that I woke up, and that would be a completely different conversation, but it was happening towards the ends of the night. I would want to go to sleep. I would be 8 o'clock. I'd be like, what am I going to do with my night? I would take a little hit. I would go outside. I'd go on a little walk. I'd come back. I wouldn't talk to Joe. I wouldn't look him in the face. And that wasn't helping anybody. It wasn't helping friendships, and it certainly wasn't helping my mental state. And I was definitely spiraling. I was definitely going in a little bit crazy. I was definitely having panic attacks, and I was definitely waking up feeling like I'm the worst person to exist in the entire world. And I didn't want to continue that life. I didn't want to do that any longer. I loved my little life, and I was losing sight of that little life. And I wanted my life to be as big as possible. And sometimes you got to work at night. And I realized that. And sometimes you want to work at night. And sometimes you want to be creative at night. And while I would get high, I would just sit there and I would watch TV. And then I'd probably like talk about broomsticks. I would take rides. So I decided to stop that. And yeah, I can probably say it's been over 2 weeks since a puff.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I actually don't even think about it. I smell it. And
Andrew, we sat down to record this, or the last one, and you said, I'm weed. Just like that.
But yeah, but when you hear that voice, that's not me. Okay, so like whenever I speak
that's
in that
your
volume,
inner child.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's like, what was that? So yeah, no, I don't necessarily want to. I'm saving money. I'm saving
time.
Saving time.
And maybe
and
your
I'm
life.
saving energy. And to those out there that are smoking weed, listen, it's legal in a lot of places. Go for it, girl. And if you can process it the way that you need to process it, by all means. But something was chemically off, as we all know, in my brain and in my body.
Yeah.
That I couldn't add another element to this body because it's already dealing enough. It's stealing enough.
It's stealing enough.
It's stealing enough.
It's stealing almost too much, some could say. Some could say it's stealing more than it could possibly ever deal.
Oh, it's stealing too much. When you go into the bathroom, it's like
what?
I was going to say, when you go into the bathroom, it's like a casino. There's so much being dealt. I wish my humor wasn't just potty humor, because I do think sometimes it's funny.
It is always funny. I want to let you know you've never not been funny, so you're fine there. You're completely safe there.
But it's
with that,
oh shit,
come senators, congressmen. The times they are a-changing.
Now for those that don't drink, I've been having a lot of conversations with friends that don't drink, and I've been trying to hear from them. Like,
I mean, it's getting more and more popular. It's
getting
getting more and more popular, and maybe that's aging. Like, I don't know if that's just like because in your early 20s, everyone's trying to black out for fun.
Yeah.
And as you get older, it's kind of like, okay, I have work in the morning, and maybe that changes. Maybe some people have kids. I don't know.
Some people have kids, but they really tell you the truth. When you age,
it gets you in a different way.
It gets you in a different way. It's debilitating.
It's kind of crazy. I literally the main reason why I avoid drinking now is because of the hangovers, and I never used to get hangovers. I used to always pride myself and being like, I just don't get hungover.
Yeah.
And people would always be like, just wait until you turn 30, and I'm turning 30 in a couple of years, and it's there. It's there.
It's there in a way that I'm laid out. I'm sprawled out.
Which I don't like. Listen, we have our Halloween party this weekend. I'm planning on Saturday during the day. I have a few plans, so it's going to be tough. But I also, I'm planning on feeling like shit. I know that because I've been planning for this.
Yes.
But, on a random night out, I don't like waking up the next day and not being able to get shit done. I feel very stressed when I cannot get things done. Part of why I had to stop smoking weed. I need to be working all the time or I'm going to lose my mind.
Which we need to figure that out.
But it works for me.
It works for you. You're right.
It really does work for me. My work is not strenuous.
No.
You know what I mean? The most challenging part of my work is seeing what's on the internet.
Yeah.
And I found a way to work around that, so I feel fine.
Yeah.
But I don't like feeling hungover, eating like shit the next day just because I'm justifying it because I'm hungover from the night before. I already had Taco Bell that night anyway. It's just a vicious cycle. It's
a vicious cycle that it doesn't keep on giving, and I don't like throwing up.
And I'm never
as much as I said it. As much as I said, I'm triple touching this jugular.
You're going number 3 all the time.
I'm the amount of 3s in a night. Sometimes we don't need to do the math. I'm hitting 12. You know what I mean? You
can't be serious though.
Oh, Joe, I'm serious.
What do you mean?
I'm serious. It depends on how much I drink and how much I ate that night. Because again, sometimes when I'm going crazy, I need to soak. I need to soak it up. So I'm eating a lot.
And then you throw up 12 times?
No, I was doing math here because I'm going number 3 4 times. Usually 2 at night, 2 in the morning. It depends on if I had Taco Bell that night. And that's why I feel like the Taco Bell normally helps me in the morning. That's at least my justification, but I got to get past that. But let's talk about the post-party blues.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that I feel like we're ending our roaring 20s in some ways. And I mean, again, in a global geopolitical way, it's depressing. I think in a personal way, it could get kind of depressing to say, you know what, those wild 20s are beginning to sunset right in front of us. And I feel like I think back to our first apartment in Williamsburg all the time. I sent you that picture of it this weekend. I think about it all the time. It was such a magical, amazing place. Listen, not the apartment itself, but I'm saying the time, that first 6 months is what I'm talking about. I'm referring to that first 6 months was so incredible. We were so happy. We were drinking constantly. Yeah, constantly. Nonstop. On weekdays, going to Mallory's or going Gina would come over and we would just go nuts, and that was a bit of a problem. Those are the last times I remember throwing up from alcohol.
We were young and we were new to a city, and I binged everything.
Yeah, because also we were
drinking, binging sex.
Yeah, because we were trapped it was because of post-pandemic.
Yeah, it was that post-pandemic
glow.
Throat
What?
Post-pandemic throat.
You were throwing a lot of throat post-pandemic.
It was throat. A lot of things were going down my throat. Yeah. Post-pandemic. And a lot of things were coming out my throat post-pandemic.
Yeah, your throat took a beating post-pandemic. Yeah. It took a beating during the pandemic. You got your tonsils out.
And I had mono.
So you got mono during the pandemic.
Yeah, I had mono, and I had tonsillitis during the pandemic. So my throat's been through a lot. And now that since like everything is settled with my throat, everything's good, it's like what's new? Like what can I do for possibly?
And sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I think back to those days where we would have like a pregame that would just turn into the whole night, or have a postgame and people would come over and we'd play music and stand on the couches and dance and go crazy. But I do think that my body and my brain couldn't handle it anymore. Yeah, no.
Thinking about those days, first of all, that apartment, I know Joe says he didn't love the apartment itself. The first 6 months were some of the most beautiful. And then it got to a point where we were like, all I heard was how much he hated the apartment. And then looking back in our second apartment.
Why did I hate that apartment?
You hated that apartment
I didn't. I mean, our rooms were so small, Andrew. It was insane. Our rooms only fit our beds.
I know, but you set it up gorgeously with the windows.
I know, I just saw a picture of my room and I was like, Jesus Christ.
It was gorgeous. So small. It was very, very small. You couldn't really do anything in there. But then once I realized that was normal, like we had good closet sizes. The common space was great. The balcony was amazing. It was an amazing apartment. I think it was just like we started the podcast in the apartment, and that was probably what was triggering for us. But our first Halloween party.
Oh, also they raised the rent like $2,000. That was also a major factor. And maybe my cope was saying this place sucked. You know?
I mean, that place sucked for the price.
Yeah, for the price it sucked.
But that's New York for you, huh? But
Halloween
that
party?
First Halloween party.
Happiest day of my life.
I'm Suki. You're Lorelai. I made a gorgeous chocolate pudding dirt. We had a charcuterie board that people still talk about to this day. And the amount of people in that space, I was blackout drunk, down. I was high as hell. I was on a cloud.
You were on a cloud.
And the next morning, I felt fine.
Did you?
I was 25 years old. I felt fine, and probably all I wanted was a bacon, egg, and cheese.
And I haven't had a bacon, egg, and cheese in a little bit.
Why are you depriving yourself of a bacon, egg, and cheese?
I don't wake up and think about bacon, egg, and cheeses that frequently. I feel like I need to have been drinking to have one, and maybe that's like ED culture seeping in. Whenever I do make breakfast, it's usually a bacon, egg, and cheese. However, my Ruma of the week, to tease it, is going to be my egg and rice bowl for breakfast for sure. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, at some point the partying feels a little bit less fun at some point. And listen, it doesn't always.
No.
Like on Thursday we went to Kat Cohen's release for her stand-up special, available now on Veeps, and I had a few drinks. I had more drinks than I typically do, and I had an amazing time. Although there is this feeling, and this came out of, I think, the podcast for me at the beginning especially, where I would be drunk and be out, and then I'd be like, oh, someone's coming up to me. I'm drunk. I'm going to sound stupid and messy and drunk. And that would make me spiral.
Oh, yeah.
And more so, I do think a lot of the events and socialization that I have now is work. It's not work by any means, because people are working on construction sites, people are dealing with cancer patients. We are podcasters, but those events that we get invited to are technically work events in some way. So while it is like open bar and dance and be crazy, there is this moment where you're like, oh, I'm meeting someone who is technically a peer of mine. Yeah. And now I'm like sloshed off of like 3 dirty martinis, and this person just arrived sober. And I want to put my best foot forward in every situation.
Yeah, but for me, when I'm sloshed off of 3 dirty martinis, it's
You're
like
almost no different.
I'm no different. I'm just like a little bit looser. But me off a bottle of wine, there's nothing better.
Bottle of wine is different.
Bottle of wine for me, it's like I
love wine.
I love wine. That's the thing. I could be sober, but except for wine.
Andrew, I don't think that's a fact. I don't think that's a thing. Sober, except I will drink a bottle of wine.
Well, some people are pescatarians. You know what I mean?
That's so fucking nuts to say. Holy shit.
But yeah, I don't think that like at parties in general, I'm not drinking wine. I'm drinking like the hardest of hards.
And I had my Maki Kaki March and I had a good time. So it's not necessarily, you don't need to drink, obviously, to have a good time. And I'm learning that more and more. But it does feel sometimes like I'm missing out on something. Especially, here's what I do feel like I'm missing out on when it comes to partying.
What?
I never had, and I'm not upset about this by any means, but I never had the era of like taking Molly and going to some rave. I never had the era of like doing coke and staying up until 6 a.m. out at clubs. Like, I never had that brat summer that is so omnipresent in our culture. And I don't really think reasonably, as a 28-year-old man, I need to start that now. You know, I think that the ship has sailed. Or, listen, maybe not completely sailed, but I'll never be at a point in my life where that's my regular plans. Which is completely fine. No one needs to be doing hard drugs regularly, I think. I think that maybe is a problem we have in this nation.
I just don't understand what the difference between Coke
oh my God
and espresso is. I'm being serious, because for me, I take a double shot of espresso and I'm ready for the night. But then people are in the bathroom doing lines of Coke. So it's like, I guess they're both considered drugs.
Yeah.
But at least you're enjoying one.
How many vices do you have? How many addictions do you have? You want me to go first? Because I feel like I put you in the spot a lot with these things. A lot.
And then I'll say something I really deeply regret.
You'll say porn, for sure. Yeah. I would say my addictions are, definitely nicotine. Yep. And I don't think it's like weird. It's such a weird one. I don't even crave it. I just want it when it's there. Nicotine, caffeine, internet.
Yeah.
I would argue, like just scrolling and shit, screens. I don't think I really drink enough to call it a vice.
Yeah, no.
At all. Shopaholic. I could see that there's, let's do like Monopoly money. There's $100 in my bank account. I will spend down to $3 and say I'll have to just wait to find more money. Like I will spend every last dollar as long as there's money in my bank account. And I'm not a stupid person. I'm aware of the consequences and I don't care.
That's something I'm so grateful that I never had to deal with.
It's a really hard thing to deal with. It really is.
I wish I could buy more things, but I can't even press submit on Amazon for our party, even though I just did. So don't worry. Okay. Is that it for you?
I don't know what else. I mean, if you have any ideas for me that you want to throw out there, please feel free.
Well, I'm going to say a few, and maybe if you resonate, you let me know.
I don't have a porn issue.
I definitely have a porn issue, which it's getting better. Sugar.
We're going to talk about food. I brought a lot of food, actually.
I have a sugar kink.
Jesus.
I have a sugar kink.
Yeah.
And then I also have food.
Yeah, food is a vice. In general for me is a big one.
Food is a vice.
Well, food is not a bad thing. It's the relationship we have to food that isn't amazing.
But honestly, I do think lately, I mean, your relationship to food is definitely a little bit healthier. I don't think I've been necessarily bad. I love to just treat myself, though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to not treat myself. Thank you so much. I would say weed is out the window. I don't drink enough for it to be a vice. What else is a vice for me? I'm not really on the internet. I wish I was. I wish a lot of people think I was. Phil?
Yeah, maybe our manager does.
Maybe our manager does.
And our agents.
But what else? That's really it. I don't think that I have any other vices besides porn and food. I'm not saying that out loud.
It hit me
in a humiliating way.
It hit me in a pretty hard way just hearing it.
I wish I was being hit in a hard way.
Yeah. That's horrible.
It's really horrible. That's actually really horrible.
You know, something about us, we have had horrible experiences with mobile providers in our lives. Horrible.
And you know what? Sometimes with the big providers, what you see isn't what you get.
No, never. It never is.
It never is. They always overpromise and they always underdeliver.
I'll tell you one thing.
What?
With Mint Mobile, what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/goodchildren.
That's mintmobile.com/goodchildren. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/goodchildren. children.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower, about 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
I've been thinking a lot about going into elementary school education.
I never should have asked you to start this podcast because I really do think
It's over for me.
I just think that maybe the digital footprint. I don't know what these teachers do these days.
A lot of these teachers are listening to the podcast, so I feel like
that's a little bit different.
It's a little different, but I feel like
they're observers.
Okay, but you don't think that there's at least a principal or someone who's on their board of education or a superintendent that listens to this podcast that would say, Andrew, if you want to move to Idaho, we'd be happy to take you.
I want you to take into consideration those parents. And I watched English Teacher on Hulu recently.
Yeah.
Brian Jordan Alvarez, amazing work.
Amazing.
Did you watch it?
I watched the first 4 episodes.
Okay, and do you see how in that first episode, he's already dealing with a crisis because he kissed Jordan Firstman?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be you, but you're going to say, I want to be hit hard. I have a porn addiction. I love getting fisted. I suck cock.
That's not true. That's not true either.
You know what I mean?
But I wouldn't be saying that in front of my elementary school
No,
students.
but you have already said it, and they will find this. I found my 11th grade U.S. history teacher's YouTube channel, and he was making funny videos with his friends. I didn't find it. Someone else found it. It was circulated throughout the whole school within a day. Channel gone the next morning. It's
it was gone the next morning?
The channel was gone. Which was a shame because his videos were funny.
I would change my name.
Okay.
I can change my name.
What would you change your name to?
I think I've always seen myself. Okay. So my name is Andrew. I don't know if that necessarily has fit me. Do you think it fits me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great name. It's definitely it's Greek and it means manly. But I think I would change my name to probably Vinny.
Yeah.
Vinny, right? You can see me as a Vinny.
I can see you as a Vinny.
Vinny can't start with an M because it's getting too close. I think it would be Vinny Amarino.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Amarino, can I call you into the principal's office for a second?
Absolutely.
So, Vinny, we have gotten some troubling emails from a few parents recently.
Okay.
And I'm not accusing you of anything. This is not your trial. We're not trying to get you in trouble here.
Okay.
What do you know about an Andrew Muscarella?
I don't know. Sounds Italian, though. Sounds pretty Italian, though.
Well, Vinny, it's been brought to our attention from a few concerned parents in the school, and I, without naming names, some faculty members as well have brought this to my attention.
That's crazy.
That you may be Andrew Muscarella, and you may be operating under a false identity at our school, Idaho High.
I don't know about that. Mrs. Sharon. The thing is with this Andrew Muscarella, who is this Andrew Muscarella guy? What does he do?
Vinny, we could tell you're wearing a wig.
This is natural blonde hair. I've been working very hard for this hair.
Vinny, I'm gonna start calling you Andrew. Andrew, I'm gonna give it to you straight. We cannot continue employing you here. We have seen all 160 episodes of the podcast, and you say some truly inflammatory things that I think if the school board found out, God forbid the local news found out, it would mean certainly the end of your career and probably the end of my career as well. And now
you know what, Mrs. Sharon, I am Andrew Muscarella, and I just wanted to say that straight up to your face. And if you think that you're gonna fire me from this school because it's gonna be better for you, your school, and your career, you're absolutely wrong. Because wait until I get on my little phone and I clickety clack my fingers away and I say that you fired me because I was. Can you imagine?
Well, that's not exactly the reason. We're not firing you for your sexuality. I have a wife at home. I am a proud out lesbian, and several members of the faculty are gay as well. And we are actually have a robust.
You haven't seen my
queer
podcast,
alliance.
Sharon. Be serious. You haven't seen my podcast, Sharon?
No, we have seen the podcast, and that's the problem. That's the main problem. I'm confused. What did you think the problem was?
I'm confused as to why you think it's a problem when so many people think it's been healing.
Yeah, I understand that it's very adult. It's very adult oriented, and you are teaching fourth graders.
I'm just confused as to what happens outside of the classroom stays outside of the classroom. If I was filming on the school premises, Sharon, I'd understand. If I was sucking dick on the school premises,
this is a
different question. But I'm sure you don't know nothing. You know nothing about Mr. Nelson. You should look into Mr. Nelson. You want to fire me? Sure.
So, Mr. Muscarella, I would like you to maintain an air of decorum. We are still in a school property, and you are now referencing fellatio.
Would you like to take this conversation outside of the school?
No, because are you trying to threaten me, sir?
No. I just if you want to have a normal conversation, a conversation.
I'm trying to have a professional. I am trying to have a professional conversation with you. What you are clearly proving is you are not capable of having that conversation with me. You have went under a false identity. You have claimed to be someone you are not, and you have put the school and my career at risk. For those reasons, we're going to have to let you go. I wanted this to be amicable. I wanted this to be a respectful conversation. Unfortunately, it's clear you are not capable of having that conversation in an adult and mature way. And I will say that is unsurprising given the track record I have seen on the few episodes of the podcast that I have watched.
Mrs. Sharon, with all due respect.
Please call me Susan. My name is Susan Sharon.
Susan, with all due respect, I understand that you want to run this school with an ounce of decorum, with some humility, with some class, and with some spirit. And do I respect you as a person? I do, Susan. I think that you are a fantastic woman. I think you have a lot to offer to this community.
Thank you so much.
And I think that it goes without saying, and I don't need to say that to you, but you have the district's best interests at heart.
Yes.
And if you feel like I am no longer a fit for this community, I will leave. And
Great. That's exactly what I would like to happen.
By all means, you tell the kids. You tell the kids, Susan, you wretched bitch.
Security, please get him out of here. Whoa. I mean, I wasn't expecting you to use the B word on Susan Sharon like that.
Me either. It's not often that I'm using that word, but I just felt like she was coming at my throat.
Was she, though? I mean, it seems like it was cordial at the start, and then you took it to a new level by getting very defensive. I also recognize fully that that's your livelihood.
You just took away my career.
Right.
Like the career that
But it's unfortunate. Listen, like, speaking on behalf of Susan Sharon, like, it sucks that, like, what happens outside of school stays in school. Stays outside of school. It's Vegas. School's Vegas now.
Yeah.
To put your metaphor
into action. A lot of these
action.
teachers are private.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate that, like, these teachers' lives now, no matter what they do online, it's going to impact their careers on a personal and professional level.
I'm normal just like you. And, like, if people want to judge me for that, that sucks. It's going to be on the internet forever. It is.
That's really brave.
I just want to bring bravery back. I don't think that people have been brave.
You're right. BBB, triple B.
Yeah, bring bravery back.
Bring bravery back.
People are so afraid. People are so afraid about what's to come. Like, even with Susan Sharon, like, if I was to step foot in that school, like, yeah, that conversation would happen. But I'm not afraid.
But you have to understand Susan Sharon's perspective here, because, like, the Board of Education would get involved. God forbid, like, you're a fourth grade teacher, right? And it has nothing to do with your sexuality. You're a fourth grade teacher at this school in Idaho. It's not like you're teaching in a major metropolitan city. And they find videos of you talking about getting your dick sucked, talking about sucking dick, talking about being the bottom of Brooklyn, talking about dark rooms, talking about, like, your penis and all of the things that come along with your penis. You know, like, there's a lot of things. And that's the regret I have with this podcast, as well, as neither of us could ever become fourth grade teachers. So this is a great point now. Yeah. Right now, Andrew is sitting here. You're feeling the consequences of some of your actions. And when you're riding on a high, you know, the podcast is a high, and then you come down and you face reality and you say, whoa, I can't believe I said that thing on here. I feel that way so frequently with things that we say. Not even sexual or gross things, just sometimes just things. And it's tough. So I would like to talk about, really briefly, anxiety. Are you a sufferer?
I never experience anxiety based on what I've said. or necessarily what I've done. Although the most recent weekend that I went out, and we talked about this on Patreon, sometimes when I get a little too drunk, I allow myself to be in situations that should have ended a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I understand.
And you can take that way whatever way you are, but I just think sometimes it goes out the window how I value myself. And I can't allow that to happen. I need to be in the right state of mind.
Do you slip right back into college, Andrew?
Yes. And sometimes I think to myself, I was getting so drunk in college for a reason. Escapism. I was escaping a lot of things I was feeling, right? So I was like, it's a vice. Let's get drunk tonight. I was kissing girls.
You could kiss 100 girls in bars.
Literally, I kissed 100
Shoot
girls.
another shot.
And I was shooting shots just to stop the feeling. Now, when I'm an adult and I'm getting that drunk, I think to myself, why did I have to get that drunk that night at the Exley? For what?
When you think about it too much, it does kind of freak you out. Like,
yeah.
When I think about the idea that, like, part of socialization as an adult, a lot of it is hinged on, like, poisoning ourselves. And, like, that's the whole plan is, like, let's go to a bunch of places and just keep drinking. It is kind of like, why do we do the thing that we do?
Yeah.
I mean, we're taking shots doing this podcast where there's actually almost a justifiable reason for
Correct.
it. At the very least, it's entertainment purposes. But you do think, like, why do we get drunk? Why do we get drunk? They've been doing it since before time.
Yeah.
Since before
time.
Since the land before time, they've been drinking. And it's a part of the culture, but it's just, it's interesting. It's like, why do you need to go to the Exley, have 6 Negronis and dirty martinis, and then...
Because I just want something in my hand, and it could just be a Diet Coke.
But it's different. It feels different when it's a Diet Coke. You're
know.
kind of like, why? I'm not participating.
I would
feel left out.
I want to start putting a limit on the drinks that I have in a night, and I think that I'm going to start limiting it to about 3 drinks in a night post my Halloween party. But listen, for your niece's first birthday,
No one
I
drank.
didn't drink.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting that I had like half a White Claw, and I was like, why am I drinking? And no one at our table had a single drink.
And I had a great time.
Yeah.
You know, like going out, I can have a shot of espresso before I leave, and then I get there, I have a drink, and then I'm chatting away. But I think that when you're with people that are like, next round's on me.
Sometimes I don't mind it though. Sometimes it's fun.
It's fun.
Moderation, it is fun to go crazy every once in a while.
Oh, I want to go out.
Should we finish our shots?
Wait, can we go out on a Monday night? Is that weird?
How did we get here? How did we get to this conclusion?
Because this is the problem. Because we're taking shots. And what did we just say? I can get into cosplay.
Cosplay?
Is that what we do?
We do that, yeah.
But I can get into it like...
Sexually?
Yeah.
Role play?
Yeah.
Why? Like you want to be Peter Mullark, like in the arena?
Yeah, I want to be Peter.
Like, I have a baguette to give you. Big baguette.
I was like, I have a big baguette and like some butter, if you would like. And they're like, okay, but I'm gluten free. I'm like, mine's different. Come on.
What?
I don't know.
The problem with me when it comes to something like that, like a true role play scenario.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Yeah, no, me
and
either.
I don't think I could with my boyfriend. I think that's insane. I'm jealous of people who feel that level of improv, that level of UCB in the bedroom. But for me, it's like I would be able to do something like that with a complete stranger.
Yeah.
Because like we don't have context for one another. We can kind of play a part. But the idea of doing it with someone who knows me, I'm like, what, we're actually playing pretend.
Yeah. It's like you wouldn't want me to come in like a little nurse's outfit.
Well, or now the situation is you and I are having role play sex. Is where we just jumped to in the situation.
You didn't want me to come in like a little cute getup.
I think I'd laugh.
Yeah, I think it is funny. I think it is necessary. It is funny, but I don't yuck anyone's yum.
No. I'm saying I'm very
making
jealous.
It work. If it's Halloween all year long for
I'm
you in the
jealous.
bedroom, I'm kind of very jealous. Yeah. Because like I feel like I can do somebody like this.
What?
I can do somebody like this.
What? What does that mean?
It's like I can make any place my bakery if I really thought about it that way.
So you would be like, your ideal sexual fantasy in this current moment is like teenage boy fighting to the death in the dystopian.
Well, no, I don't fight.
PETA goes to the Hunger Games.
Oh, he does, yeah.
But
I don't want to do PETA.
Books.
I don't want to do PETA in the Hunger Games. I want to do PETA at the bakery.
So like 14-year-old, 15-year-old PETA,
yeah,
being abused by his mother at the family bakery is like your ideal sexual kink.
Well, I don't. Okay, let's rewrite this for a second. I don't need him to be 14 and 15 for multiple reasons. I would like him to be like my age.
Okay.
Let's say it's like post everything that happened.
Okay.
Like it's about 15 years later. He still's at the bakery. Mother is dead.
Girl, that bakery got blown up. Katniss, there is no District 12.
You can't rebuild?
I don't know if he wants to bake. Broken? He was being abused by his parents there.
But sometimes you need to work through childhood trauma to get to the place that you always loved. And I think he did love to bake. Okay? So let's rewrite.
I don't remember him loving baking. Sure.
Can I rewrite the narrative?
I'm sorry. I'm too stuck in the real.
I get it.
I'm sorry.
And I get that.
But you deserve to rewrite it.
And it's like I've went through now 5 years of therapy. My mother has been dead. I'm like okay, like what's next? Like I'm living here.
Well,
like
he marries Katniss and he has 2 kids.
He has 2 kids and they're thriving. They're having they're a great time. But like Katniss turns to me and she's like, "Hey babe, like we're getting a little tight on cash. Like, and you're making these sourdoughs all the time, and like the people miss your sourdough." And I'm like, "Okay, babe, I'm gonna make another bakery, and I'm gonna make Pita's breads, like pita bread. Amazing name, Pita Bread Bakery." And then from there, it's like it's a 4D experience, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like you have the scents, you have the smells of the bakery. Mm-hmm. You have an open table, like a
You're
large
just describing a bakery currently as a 4D experience.
I'm describing a bakery as a horny experience, correct?
As a 4D experience.
4D. So, 4D and horny.
Okay.
There's piping bags.
So I'm sorry. In your ideal sexual fantasy, you're erecting a bakery to do this?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're fully baking bread during this situation?
I'm kneading. I'm like baking.
So I want to keep taking us here, though. I want to know like who's the partner. Is it Katniss? It's Gail.
Yeah.
Gail comes home.
Gail comes home and like I already have 2 kids and I'm like, Gail, like what if we made a tiered cake? And he's like, oh, like I can't get my hands dirty like that. And I'm like,
yes, he would. He would love to get his hands dirty. He's a hunter.
And he says, I would love to get my hands dirty. I'm a hunter.
Okay.
And I say, okay, meet me at my bakery at 5 p.m.
Okay. Has he seen Katniss since he got back?
No.
Okay.
Because they haven't.
Since the Prim incident.
Because he had to say, he's like, the way that we leave it is he goes, I really have to tell you something. And I'm like, shh. Meet me at my bakery at 5 p.m. So he was going to tell me. He was going to tell me that
he was in love with you?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's like, okay, I can just tell him when I'm there. And then once we get there.
You're in just an apron?
I'm in just an apron.
And you have some buns that need frosting?
Exactly. I think that there was something to it. And I think that the fanfic community, I think that people who write...
Have you ever read fanfiction?
No, I think that it would really get me going.
Yeah, maybe that's your way of like
getting back into reading.
Yeah, it's 2 birds, 1 stone. You get back into reading and you're weaning yourself off porn.
You're right. I can start doing that. I can start
weaning yourself off porn.
What'd you say about my...
What? Should we do a phone call?
Yeah. Good children to the guidance office.
Hi. Can you disguise my voice? I'm scared.
No.
For a little background, I went to college in Indiana at a well-known Catholic university. Location is relevant. I also have my medical marijuana card from Connecticut, but it was still highly illegal in Indiana. So I think it was my junior year of college, and it was the Thursday night of Halloween weekend. I got super cross-faded at the pregame. And I also wasn't 21 yet, so keep that in mind. When we reached the bouncer at this first bar, I grabbed my real ID instead of my fake ID, so I had to go back and poke around in my bag for my my fake ID. But less than a second later, I hear someone say, "Ma'am, you have marijuana in your bag." And I looked up to see a policeman in my face, and somehow I said, "No, I don't." But I was fully fucking shitting myself. Then he pulled me aside and said, "Ma'am, let me look inside your bag. You have marijuana." Like, yeah, I do, bitch. At
You need
this
a warrant.
point, I was getting offended. Like, how fucking dare he? But I remember responding super loudly like a bitch. And I said, "I don't have marijuana in my bag. And actually, I'd like to have my lawyer present before saying or doing anything more." And he backed off and made us leave. But I'm still really fucking high and stupid. So around a half hour later, at a bar closer to campus, I got my fake ID taken away, and I proceeded to call my lawyer and fake talked on the phone for an hour. The last thing I remember from that night is running to my dorm, scared for my life, looking back like someone was chasing me. So, happy Halloween.
Wait. You're
I'm-
kind of a legend diva icon.
You're a legend. I feel like we have very similar relationships to lying when you're drunk, because I would have done actually the same exact thing. I can't believe it. Have you ever gotten your fake ID taken?
Andrew, be serious. Did I ever use my fake ID? No.
True. When I got mine taken, it was I stood outside of the place screaming.
What were you screaming?
I can't say it out loud. That's one thing I'll hold secret. But yeah.
I love the fact that she UCB'd it.
She did.
She said, "I'm going to call my lawyer," and spoke on the phone for an hour to a fake lawyer.
And good for you. Like, if I learned anything in 12th grade street law, it was when someone says that they want to search you.
They can't without probable cause.
They cannot search you without probable cause. First you say, "Do you have probable cause?" And then they said, "Yes, I want to search your bag because I see weed." And then you say, "No, you don't. I would like my lawyer to be present." And then they say, "I don't want to deal with this shit." Or, "I have the right." You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. You walk away from them. You say, "You don't have probable cause, and my lawyer is not present, so I will remove myself from the situation, sir. Thank you."
Butter.
And then they might arrest you. Because they say that you're coming at them with you're disrespecting them. And you know what? And then that goes into a whole conversation of freedom of speech. And then you can't get into it.
Whoa.
Yeah, you cannot get into that conversation.
Whoa.
So,
whoa.
It's been an amazing episode.
Well, it's time for our rumor of the week.
It's the rumor of the week.
I'm tired of rumors starting. Andrew, what's right up your alley this week? I can go first.
Yeah.
I said it earlier, but my rumor this week is for sure making a delicious rice bowl for breakfast. I'm a lazy bitch.
Yes.
As we know, I will buy my white rice from the Chinese takeout. I'll get it delivered, like the largest option I can get. I'll take a scoop of that, put it in a bowl, microwave it. Egg, I'll make it over easy. Is that when there's still some wet yolk?
Yeah. Over easy, over medium.
Over medium, sure. And then I take some furikake seasoning.
You are obsessed.
I'm obsessed
with furikake.
I'm obsessed with it, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong.
I'm sure.
But I'm using that, and then I'm using some coconut liquid aminos instead of soy sauce. And then I'm taking some French's fried onions, putting that on it. I'm taking some scallions. I'm growing them in the kitchen. Andrew's very upset about this. Some fresh scallions on top of that. And then I have this miso barbecue sauce that I put on top of that. It is a reason to wake up. It's incredible.
It's a reason to wake up.
Yes. Coffee in my cup. Start a new day.
My rumor of the week, right up my alley. And I know all of the girls have been doing it. Dada eats. a long time ago. Remember her?
Oh my God! It's like you just awoke something in me.
I know.
That queen.
For so long, I judged dates with peanut butter dipped in dark chocolate. For so long, until I started doing it myself, because I'm a sucker for a little something sweet, a nutlettet sut, if you will, in Swedish. And I have been doing these dates.
Were you looking over to me to see if I was laughing or not?
Yeah, of course. And I have been doing them like bi-weekly at this point, and sometimes it's nice because like it's a giving treat too. Like I'm like, Joe, do you want a little?
Can I be
something
honest
sweet?
with you?
You don't like them. These ones suck.
That's not true. That's not what I was gonna say at all. And it really, you should start doing affirmations because everything,
I have an app that
everything
gives me
you've said
affirmations
has
every
been
hour.
negative. Oh, every hour.
Every hour.
Well, I did see that on your phone actually when I was plugging it in. When you were dog sitting, I had to.
That's okay.
I know. I had to come clean because I think they're so good.
Yeah. Okay.
They're so good.
I'm happy that you came clean. They're so good.
They're so good.
Again, like all you need, you get the pitted dates. You get I do almond butter or I do honey peanut butter because it's very sweet. You dip it in a 70% cacao, dark chocolate. You toss it around. Not everyone needs to be fully coated. Some can just be topped. You can even do a sprinkle of flaky Malden if you wanted.
Oh my God. Yeah. I have Malden.
You have Malden?
Yeah, in that spice cabinet.
You haven't told me that you had Malden?
I didn't. I just figured you'd see it.
No, I don't see, because on your shelves, I don't see it.
My shelves are high, yeah.
Your shelves are high. I didn't even know you had new furkake until I like was really peering over, and then I saw there was a whole shelf of new international seasonings. But yes, that's the rumor of the week. I would say make them, pop them in the freezer. They're good for a while. You just
and
pop
they're
them
very good.
They're very good. It's a good sweet.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Don't forget to do your homework.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, send the podcast to your friends. Just spread the good word. We want to tell people and listen to our caller that we disguised your voice. I understand that you went to school in Indiana. We have a show in Indiana, actually, in Indianapolis on February 19th. Okay? So spread the word. Tell your friends. We need to sell those tickets, and we need to sell out that room. Chicago, first show has sold out. February 20th, the late show, though, still plenty of tickets available. We'd love to see you there. And then Madison, Wisconsin, get your cheese ready, tip your cows. No, I can't say that. February 21st, all right? February 21st, we will see you there. Some tickets as well.
And don't forget to vote next week. Get out and vote next week. Please, 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 God. Please,
Vote.org. Vote.org. Register to vote.
And after you vote, subscribe to our Patreon for $7 a month for a bonus video/audio episode every single Friday, plus access to over 100 bonus episodes and access to our chats. There's 4 of them. There's a friend board. Seattle had another meetup. The Seattle Queens met up again. 4 of them now. 3 Andrews, 1 Joe in the group. Sorry, 3 Joes, 1 Andrew in the group. That poor Andrew. She's going through a lot.
She's going through a lot.
She's going through a lot with that meetup group.
That means that I'm outnumbered.
All angles,
75%.
every angle getting hit.
So for the Andrews out there
in Seattle,
regardless if you're in a majority of Joes, recognize that you still are there for a reason, especially when you're in Seattle.
And maybe we'll see you in Seattle soon again. It's possible. And until then, you can find us across all social media platforms at Good Children Pod. I'm on Instagram at Joe Hegyes.
I'm on Instagram at Andrew Muscarella.
And we'll see you next week. And I once again want to say, we'll see you next week. We'll see you the day after Election Day. The episode's pre-recorded. We're not going to have any commentary on what happened. I am sending every single one of you so much love and light going into next week. Because I know I need it.
And with that being said, apart from the election, enjoy your Halloween.
Enjoy your Halloween.
And eat all the candy that you want. Don't have any anxiety. Let's try to limit the post-party blues. And let's have the party. No, I have nothing to elaborate on.
Thank you so much for watching.
Ride a few broomsticks.
Are you coming to the tree? We're dead.
Strange things
side by side with me. Strange things that happen here. No stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. If we met at midnight in the hanging tree.